I hope you can hear me now. Take us through what's happening and the pending process that you have been launching, the appeal process, of course, against the IAAF's regulations.
Yes, with pleasure. The breaking news is that today the Swiss Federal Court in Switzerland ordered that the regulations be suspended, and I'm talking about the DSD regulations, that they be suspended until at least the 25th of June, when the IAAF will have a opportunity to respond to the application that we launched last week. Last week we launched both the application for suspension of the regulations as well as an appeal.
Now this, of course, means that Caster Semenya can participate in certain races pending the outcome of this appeal.
Absolutely. So those DSD regulations, which we fought so hard against this last month, have now been suspended. Those are called the DSD regulations, restricting women athletes between 400 meters and a mile in competing, and what we believe were solely for the benefit, or I should say for the, certainly not for the benefit of Caster, but directed towards her, now are lifted as pending the 25th of June, and to see whether in fact there will be any opposition to the suspension.
Now, there will be a hearing when exactly? This is, of course, lifted until the 25th of June. When do you actually go to the Swiss Supreme Court and have them hear your case?
Well, the papers have been filed last week for the application for appeal, and the appeal will be heard sometime toward the end of the year. We can't be specific in terms of dates, but we imagine it will be towards the latter half of the year.
So why only until the 25th of June then?
The 25th of June is the application for the suspension of the regulations to be lifted. So the IAAF have until the 25th of June to show cause why these regulations shouldn't be suspended. And if they don't show cause, then Caster will run until such time as there is an appeal, and we'll wait the outcome of that particular appeal.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? Tell us how she's feeling.
Well, Caster is Caster. She says she remains focused. She doesn't want any distraction. She's obviously pleased and joyous about the victory, but she wants no distraction, and she keeps focused. She says she's an international athlete, and she wants to keep on her business.
And all of this, of course, hasn't stopped her from training now in preparation for that race in Paris.
Absolutely not. In fact, this afternoon, while this news was breaking and statements were being made and so on and so forth, Caster was out there training.
Yeah. Tell us about her overall feeling when it comes to this issue. We know she said very little on it. You guys have issued statements previously. Caster Semenya has not outright spoken to the media about what's going on in her mind. Through your interaction, please tell us how she's feeling apart from moving forward. I mean, this must have affected her in some way or the other.
Well, in interacting with Caster, there's always been one of joy, in the sense that Caster has been always strong in any circumstance. So in terms of acting on her behalf or representing her cause, it's always been one which has been helped by the ability for her herself to be strong in herself. And that's been of great assistance, and she remains so. So there's no change in that.
Yeah.
And she sees that as she repeatedly says, she's an international athlete, she's a woman, she will run, and that's what she's doing, and she will remain focused. The rest, to her mind, is a distraction.
And of course, the fact that millions of South Africans have been supporting her through all of this.
It's fantastic, and I think she really revels in that, and she understands what she means to younger athletes especially. And I think that's the great joy of Caster, is that she's iconic to South Africans, and she can certainly represent so many who want to follow in her footsteps and beyond. So today is a small step, but let's hope for better things to come down the road.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, sir. We appreciate it. That's Caster Semenya's lawyer, Gregory Nott. If you are just joining us, that is the breaking news story. Of course, the Swiss Supreme Court has set aside a ruling saying that Caster Semenya cannot compete in certain races. This, of course, until the 25th of June. The IAAF now has a chance to appeal this decision, setting aside the ruling pending that outcome of the appeal, which is set to happen later this year, he says. So